under $100.
Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Barakatah. Akash, can you hear me?
Kana naman ka, sir.
God, is the audio Tawab? Is the audio Tawab, Akash?
Kana naman ka, the audio is too up.
Most High in Christ. All right, we about to get rolling. Salakia for the delay. We were having technical difficulties. Some of our audio equipment, some things. So Salakia, everybody, want to make sure, you know what I'm saying, that everything is on the up and up. You can hear us loud and clear. Get rid of this. All right. Most High in Christ. Okay.
Testing 1 2.
Okay, so if everything is on the up and up, last thing I gotta do is just check the live, and we will get rolling for today. We need that. We don't need this. This we don't need. Shalaki. All right. Test 1 2 1 2. God. All right, we good to go. Most High in Christ, let's go ahead and clap it up. Again, Salakia for the delay. Shalom, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah Brakathum to all the brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alathun Bashim Yahweh Shah to all the sisters. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. You understand? Started out in 1969, teaching the truth according to the Bible. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are the true Jews, the true Israelites of the Bible. Okay? This is the Friday night Lashawan Qadash class, the Hebrew class, where we learn the language element of our culture. Giannis, if you could, give me a water, if you could. We understand that every class that we do, maybe you never heard of the Isupk if you tuning in. Maybe this is your first time seeing what we got going on at the water, my brother. Seeing what we got going on, and you're just unfamiliar. Well, what is this all about? What are these brothers saying? There's a lot that can be said, but the simplest way to put it is this: blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, as they exist today, do not have a culture. What do I mean by that? Officer Tabawan, what are you talking about? Of course, I'm Officer 1000 Tabawan. Got my brother Officer 500 Yanazar with me in the building as always. What do I mean when I say we have no culture? What does that even mean? How can I say
that? Salaki, sir, if I may.
Please.
I believe what you mean is that what they consider our culture, what is stated as our culture, is just a culture that we made up here in America.
Mm-hmm.
It is not our inherited original culture.
Right. Okay. I hear you. That's absolutely what I'm saying, right? But give me some more. Like, okay, what you're right, that's answering the question of what it is that we call culture today. But still, why is it that I can say we have no culture in this place? Why can I say that?
One of the reasons why we can say that, sir, is that we don't have no cultural language. We don't have that connection. You know, we cannot express our culture.
I like that wording. That's perfect. I'm gonna take that. You know why? Because what is the oppressor's culture?
That's like it, sir. Whatever he could steal.
That's true. But there are some elements of his culture that are distinctly his. There are.
Warfare, lying.
Who's Thanksgiving for?
Him, he's celebrating the destruction of our brothers.
He's celebrating the destruction of our brothers. Who did the destruction?
He did.
So what is he celebrating?
His victory.
He's celebrating his victory, right?
What
about his Christmas? What is he celebrating?
Basically that he has all these different nations under subjection to him.
To a degree. But if we get literal, he's celebrating one of his gods.
Yeah.
In fact, he's celebrating his God. That's why he was able to almost cross-reference the history, the Semiramis and Tammuz and all of that, and turn it into his version of Jesus Christ. Which is why we can say what we in the Isupk, people try to come into the camp and say we believe in the same God. No, we don't. No, we do not. You believe in a version of Jesus that was born on December 25th. You know, and it's basically a demigod. We don't believe in that in the Isupk under Commander General. Not at all. Not one bit. You see, you got to be very careful. Salaki, again, I'm just adjusting the camera. All right. Salakia. Osai Christ. But that's his culture. Where's Caesar? You know we're using for camp. I'm gonna grab him right now. Pause. Where's he at? No, I got it. He's right here. Here we go. Is your man with the plan right here, right? Whose culture is this? Whose culture is this?
The oppressors.
This is the oppressor's culture. You see, we got to start thinking more deeply about the lives that we lead. How many black grandmothers have this on their refrigerator?
So lucky, sir. Millions.
Millions. How many black grandmothers they got this on the wall somewhere in the house? How many of them got some of this? We got some of them got the candles.
So lucky, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
If I may, I don't know about today, but when I was coming up, like, this is no exaggeration, like 80% of black people had that.
Right. You go in some black auntie's house, some grandmother's house in Harlem and LA and everywhere you go, and this is what you would see on the wall. You see him, look at him nice and clearly. I know Akash. Akash, you okay, brother?
Can't, sir.
You're not gonna shed a tear, are you?
So like you say, if I may,
please.
I went to see a brother who was a little ill, but he was by the church. So I went to the church to see him. And, I say, man, y'all still have this white Christ inside this church?
Damn right. See, of course, in the ISUPK, we have a culture, so this devil is a nobody to me. You know, we just toss him around, right? Just make fun of him. Yeah. But that is the oppressor's culture, right? So going back to what Officer Yanazar said, which is absolutely correct. We don't have a culture because what? Everything we believe in, we're getting from somebody else. You ask an oppressor about some oppressor whose last name is O'Leary. some oppressor whose last name is Wingate, some oppressor whose last name is whatever, his Harrison, Jones. Guess what? Those names are from his people. Irish names, English names, Polish names, right? Russian names. Those are his names that go back centuries. That's a black man what his name is. He's going to tell you, oh, my name is Jonathan Winters. Well, where'd you get that from? Whose culture is that? What's your real name? You don't even know. We don't even know. You know what I'm saying? So when I say that all these classes, and this class particularly is about the culture of our people getting back to it, it's about returning a history to us, returning an understanding of ourselves, which we absolutely need. Give me a discontinue from thy heritage, Baba Kushah. We need it. We cannot move forward without it. We see what's going on in the world, right? You see World War III is on the brink, right? What are we going to do? I guess if I'm a black man and my last name is Williams, I should go find the nearest white man whose last name is also Williams too, right? And maybe he'll fight for me. Maybe me and all the Williamses will get together. You know what I mean? Because since we're family anyway, because why else would I have his name? Yeah. He's going to shut the door on my black face. Because in this place, we're still what? Read my mind.
Slaves.
We're just slaves. It's the mark of a slave. Right now, the oppressor, I'm going to let you read it in a second, Yanazar. I see the oppressor. I live in a neighborhood, and when I'm slaving, I'm all around in the neighborhood, driving different places, right? All through these oppressors' neighborhoods, right? And man, I don't know if y'all noticed, but Halloween is a big deal nowadays. I remember this is me. When I was coming up, Halloween was like, it was a thing, but they're taking this nasty, wicked holiday to the next level. When I was coming up, there was no Halloween lights. You might see somebody put a ghost, a little, cartoon ghost in the window, or some bats, something like that. Of course, you would see kids would walk around and do trick-or-treating. I'm driving around these neighborhoods. The oppressor got a 15-foot tall witch animatronic, like something out of a movie, on his lawn. And the animatronic is moving, and it's electronic doing different stuff and, and laughing. And this is what they're doing. Go ahead, please.
Around the corner from me on my way to come to the highway, they got something like that, but it's a ghost. It's right. It's two ghosts. You know what I'm saying? And their arms and stuff look like they moving and shit.
Right.
And they actually spinning electricity.
Yeah, they spinning electricity for this. Yeah. Right. And guess what? A lot of our brothers and sisters, man, if they can afford it, they're gonna do the same thing. They're gonna send their babies out to go trick-or-treating when guess what? They're gonna put fentanyl, they're gonna lace the candy with fentanyl. How much you want to bet? Little blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, you're gonna find out about some of them dying or getting very ill, very sick, because sick people are gonna lace the candy with fentanyl. They're gonna put razors in the damn in the Reese's Pieces and things like that. So why would you continue to patch your children through the fire of America by celebrating these holidays that have nothing to do with them? Okay. And that's in the Bible. Go ahead and read it, Yanazar.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue.
So what?
Discontinue.
Discontinue. If you discontinue, what does that mean?
You cease and desist.
You absolutely stop. Right. But give me there's one part I want you to say with it. You're right, but I remember back in the day, I don't know if they call that now, but I remember back when I was coming up and we played basketball, we would call a discontinue. That was a thing we had, right? What did that mean? What's a discontinue?
You took the ball and you stopped dribbling and then you continued to dribble.
Right. But if you stop dribbling, that means you what first?
Discontinue.
But first, before you discontinue, what were you already doing?
Dribbling.
You were dribbling. So you had something first. You were doing something, and then you stopped doing that thing. Then you kept going with it, right?
Right.
Like you discontinue and then you stopped. Okay. So with that being said, pardon me. us discontinuing from our heritage, what means what? We had a heritage. We had one. Right? Who else on earth can even say that? Who?
So like I said, if I may.
Yeah.
Like this, I love this verse right here.
Mm-hmm.
Testing 1 2 1 2.
Okay.
I love this verse, but the part of this verse that I love the most
please,
is we haven't gotten there yet.
No sweat. We gonna get there.
It when it says that I gave thee. So when you say what other culture or what other nation can do that, we can honestly and truthfully say none.
Right. So that's two parts. That's the beauty of it, right? So the first part is you got to ask yourself what nation on earth, what group of people does not have a culture? How can the so-called Jewish man be that man when he can trace his lineage back? He can trace it back. Hundreds and hundreds, thousands years. You got oppressors that can trace their lineage back to one white man living in France in 750 AD. And he knows his lineage. He knows his heritage. He knows his language, what his people spoke, where they lived, right? So if the people of the Bible discontinue from their heritage, and as we read in the book of Psalms, in the 83rd chapter, where they said that was the crafty counsel that the other nations came up with, let us cut them off from being a nation. What is a nation? A large aggregate of people who are united by common ancestry, common history, common language, and common culture. So who else could it be? Just somebody tell me. I want to hear it. They can't. Because there's no one else. And for you Hispanics out there, you think you have a culture, but you don't.
So like I said,
please.
The point you're bringing out is very heavy if we think about it, because even those little people that's on that island that don't allow nobody to come in and shot the Christians when they try to come on the island, you know what I'm talking about, off the coast of Africa, even they got a culture.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. All these Africans, guess what? You feel sorry for them because you watch Blood Diamond and they getting their feet and hands chopped off. You understand? I get it. I get it. But they have a culture. When they say that's their thing. It's theirs. Right? It doesn't mean no human being is immune from tragedy. It's life. Life is war. So there's going to be wars. There's going to be tragedy. There's going to be horrible things that take place all over this place. Look what's happening with Ukraine. Some of the things happening in Ukraine is tragic. Some of the things happening in the Middle East is tragic. But that don't no more make them the children of the Most High. Because my people have been going through something, and guess what? Nobody cared. Nobody put it up on the news and said, oh, man, the poor little baby. I read the story. I'll be brief. I was reading, or better yet, listening to an audiobook about a brother who this drug dealer up in Harlem many years ago. But at one point in the book, it was kind of talking about how drugs really made their way into Harlem, how the heroin made its way into Harlem, and when they knew how bad it had gotten. And it was the story of a young brother. He was like 13 years old. Something Vander something. I got to find his name. And he was 13 years old. And he was at the time that they could document the youngest person they ever seen die of a heroin overdose. He was 13 years old. And it's like, again, what other people go through the things we go through with no sympathy? If no one says anything, people wouldn't care. And that's the difference. So we have to return to our culture. We got to get back. Okay? That's what this is all about. This is not just, okay, we just up here saying some funny words. No. This is imperative to our survival to get back to who we are, so that way we can we're no longer slaves in this place. All right. All the things, the terrible things we go through are a result of our slavery. So we have to move away from them in order to fix ourselves. All right. And finish what you're saying. Finish the scripture, Yanazar.
From thine heritage that I gave thee.
That the Most High gave us, as Yanazar said so well. Right. Whatever we keep, it's the story we've been doing since the Garden of Eden. We get aroused by other people's cultures. We get thirsty. We are captivated by the culture of the heathens. I mean, listen, I get it. I get it. Man, they have a captivating cultural way about them. Again, look at their Christmas lights and their trees, their Halloween. Isn't it also intriguing? It's like reading a good book. But the problem is that it's not ours. The Lord gave us something better. But just like a child who doesn't realize what they got, we want to go, we want to climb out the window and go get into negativity. That's the story of the prodigal son. We want to go do, you know what I'm saying? We want to go do what we want to wild out. You know what I mean? And now we have an opportunity to come back home. Well, let's come back home, man. Any more on that, Yanazar?
I want con, sir.
Con.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemy.
I mean, that's plain and simple. He'll cause us to serve. We're doing it right now. Serving our enemies, man. Go ahead.
In the land which thou knowest not.
In the land which thou knowest not. I mean, plain. It's getting kidnapped and taken to a land that you don't know. I wouldn't. Go ahead, brother.
I was just saying, like, I read this like 100 times, but that shit still, sometime it hit home.
Nah, for sure. Nah, it's something serious, man. It's something serious. Okay, so that's what it's all about. Getting back to our culture. So what have we been talking about with our language, man? We've been keeping it real simple, breaking down the basics of sentence structure. And understanding how we can come up with these sentences, man. Right? We've been getting little formulas, and I want everybody to understand that too. When you hear me talk about these grammatical things, I'm not trying to confuse you. If at any point, you need some clarification or whatever, you can just ask. But the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm just trying to draw a bridge between our understanding of the language we already speak, right, and how we can formulate things in this language we're learning, right? But it's not to confuse you. It's not to, try to over, just do too much. It's just to get basic foundational things so we can just build on it. And most importantly, so we can try things. We need to try things. It's like listen, if you think that I'm up here to scold you because, okay, you pronounced that wrong, or no, that's not what this is about. That's not what this is about. If we're getting our culture back, we're going to make some mistakes. Some things aren't going to be exactly the way we remember them. We're going to have to fix some things and so on. But we have to try. We have to make the attempt. We have to try to think about, well, how would I say this kind of sentence? I'll say, okay, I think I'll say it like this. Then we look in the scriptures and see the exact sentence and say, oh, okay, so that is right. Or we'll see a sentence and that's not what we said. We say, okay, well, maybe that's a different way to say the sentence. Or we'll look in and say, okay, I was wrong. But either way, it's for the purpose of learning. Okay? So last week, we were talking about, again, subjects and predicates and verbs and the object pronouns and so on. And what does it all mean? All of it is just a formula to make a complete what? When we're getting these predicates and subjects and objects all together, what are we trying to make a complete what? What is a sentence?
A verbal exchange of ideas.
Very close. A sentence itself may not be an exchange, but it is what? It is a complete
idea
or a complete thought. Complete thought. Right? So we're trying to communicate something simple, because these are simple sentences. Some sentences are a little more complex. There's more going on. But at the basic level, we're just trying to communicate something. We're trying to give what, as Yanazar said excellently, a perfect word, information. Information. Right? I ain't talking about Beyonce. You know what I mean? We're trying to get put out information. When the Lord said, as we see on the board, I am your God, which is really I am your power. He's trying to get us to understand something about his nature, who he is. Every sentence is supposed to provide information. Now, again, some information is more pertinent than others, more useful. Some information, not so much. But it's still, it is information. You understand? So, with that being said, right, we're going to continue with this concept. But first things first, all the brothers and sisters, who's tuning in, I see, I don't think we got no one else. Probably people watching online, but again, no one's in the class. But also, if you do want to join the class, tuning in online, Salakia, you can. Salakia, I know y'all don't see me up there by the board. I'm sitting down over here by the laptop. Here we go. If you want to join, you can go ahead and click that link on the Durham Israelites YouTube. Just go to YouTube, type in Durham Israelites or ISUPK Durham. You'll see our live up. You can click on it, and then you'll see in the comment section, you'll see that link right there, which you can click on to join the class. Okay. Yanazar, could you give me the definition of a clause, Baba Kusha? You know I ain't talking about Santa Claus. You know what I'm saying? Somebody tuning in, man. They watching online. Officer Double One, we're talking about Santa Claus. No, a clause. We're talking grammar here. We're talking linguistics and understanding how to speak. Right? And again, communication.
So like I say, if I may, it's this is Merriam definition, Merriam-Webster dictionary.
Right.
A group of words containing a subject and predicate, and functioning as a member of a complex or compound sentence.
Right. Clause, because you have sentences that can have multiple clauses. Multiple ideas, multiple concepts. You compound sentences, right? I can say, man, I can say, I went to the store and my legs were tired. There's two clauses in that sentence, but it's one sentence. Why is there two clauses?
It's describing two events
or two pieces of information. One complete piece of information, which is I was going to the store. And another complete piece of information, which is my legs were tired. Right? Now, those are not independent clauses. We're not going to get too deep into the details. You have dependent clauses and independent clauses. Those two clauses are not independent. They're dependent on one another. The suggestion being that my legs were tired while I was going to the store, maybe even because I was going to the store, but that's neither here nor there. The point is a point across. Information. That's what we're trying to do. And there's many ways we can do it. So today, we're going to focus on using this formula, essentially. This formula that we've been using, which works so eloquently, and we're going to see that throughout the scriptures, man. We're going to really get acquainted with pronouns. They're very useful. In general.
But, sir.
Please.
Just want to, before we move on. So in order for it to be a clause, it has to have more than one predicate.
No. A clause is a part of a sentence. Okay. So it can be a sentence can be a clause, but a compound sentence would have multiple clauses, so it wouldn't be the other way around.
Okay.
Right. So a clause is the one part. The one piece is one predicate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Most High in Christ, the water, sir.
Again, this is not to confuse you. Do you on your own time look up some of these things just again to understand what I'm saying. right? It's to understand what I'm saying. It's not to rack your brain or anything. It's because if you can understand the breakdown of what's happening, why it's happening, then you can do what? You can recreate it. That's all we're trying to do. What do I mean by that? We also talked about pronominals, right? But see right here, see all these three examples we gave last week. See these three examples. What do they all have in common? They have a few things in common, really. They have a few things in common. We're going to break it all the way down. Each of them have a what? What we might call a pronominal, a possessive, but being used as a pronoun. Each of them have that. Abad yakum. Alaha yakum. Ban ya. Actually, this is actually just a straight up possessive. It's not a pronominal per se. Okay? But what they do all share is the usage of an actual pronoun. A not now. Anya. Hum. These are actual pronouns. Okay. We're going to learn about pronouns today. And see their usage throughout the scriptures. Okay? Because we can, these are building blocks again of a lot of sentences. Also, shout out to Captain of 13,000 Tazaryak. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all know, but Captain Tazaryak, of course, was on No Jumper today, if I'm not mistaken. Most High in Christ for that. He was on No Jumper with Whack 100 and Adam 22. You know what I mean? So that's a you know, great thing. Shout out to Captain Tazaryak. You know what I'm saying? The work he do is, you know, amazing. We should all continue to attempt to learn from it. All right. So just think, I'm gonna erase these, but for now, we're focusing on this part. We're focusing on these parts and how they function and what they do. Okay. Any questions at any time, again, just let me know. So what we have on the board are pronouns in English. Again, what is the function of a pronoun? What does it do?
So like I said, it takes the place of the noun.
Right. It takes the place of a noun. It's representative of a noun in a sentence, right? So again, as we said many times, as opposed to me saying, Yanazar went to the store. Yanazar, walked down the block. Akash car opened his car door, and then Akash car got in his car. Akash car turned on his radio. You know what I mean? Like, just having to say a person's proper name over and over again is so we can what? We won't be redundant. We can kind of weave through the communication more seamlessly, right? Without again being overbearing or redundant. Excuse me. So now that I have these at my disposal, I can say, yeah, I went to the store, man, and I was gonna get you a soda, but then I said, nah, I won't do that. We are gonna go out to eat anyway, and I wanted to ask y'all how y'all feel about doing so and so. Oh, you know them brothers over from 112th Street? Yeah, they said da 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 da. And that's how we weave through the language. It makes it seamless and smooth. The same is true in our language. And the beauty of it is, in this regard, it's not the same language, but just like English, this is a major building block of a sentence. Okay? Major building block of a sentence. Okay? So before we even get into seeing it at work in some sentences, who can remember how we say some of these words in Hebrew? How do we say I in Hebrew? Yeah. And also recall this. Recall that with every single one of these words, these pronouns, what would be called an English connecting verb is implied, is a part of it. What do I mean by that? Without making it too complicated, Anya is I, but it's also I am. You follow me? Atha is you, but it's also you are. Right? The answer for one of them, right? We saw a not nower earlier. A not nower is we, but it also is we are. And the most important thing understand about the usage of these pronouns and why we use them in certain instances and don't use them in certain instances, because these are because these are not because these are subject pronouns. They're more formal. They're formal. You're gonna use these to be respectful. You're gonna use this is like the think of it like in English, right? Like if you're being proper, right? So these are ways of speaking in certain instances, meaning there's certain words and times where you wouldn't necessarily use one. You might use a little bit more of an informal way of speaking by attaching certain prefixes to certain words. But if we're being proper with the language and being formal, these are the words we would use. Okay? Who remembers how to say you in Hebrew?
Athan.
So what, Akash?
Athan.
Atha. Absolutely correct. What about how to say he in Hebrew? That's the more informal way of saying it. The actual pronoun, the word is what? It starts with a ha.
Ha-wa-ha.
There we go. Ha-wa-ah. And remember, recall this. The pronunciation of this word. It is not ha-wa-ah. 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 That is not the correct pronunciation. Now, again, nobody's going to pause, jump down your throat, pause. No one's going to do that because, again, we're all learning the language. But everything flows. Those two, that wa and that ah is, again, it flows. It's not ha-wa-ah. It's ha-wa-ah. Ha-wa-ah. Con. That's the problem. When you see that kind of thing happen, with ah at the end of a word, right? And it's not connected because the y and the ah here are not connected. You know what I'm saying? That's how it would sound. It's not a ha. If it was a ha, it would just be hawa. But it's an ah. So and it has to be given its proper pronunciation, right? So it's hawa. Hawa. There we go. Right. This run bumps together. Now, what about she? Now, if you read it, sometimes you'll see in the blue letter, Yanazar. Ya, exactly. If you look in the blue letter, it'll say sometimes that she is also hawa, but then it'll explain that it's actually more proper to distinguish the two, right? There's I think after like the first 3 books or something like that, you don't really see hawa used to describe a female. You see it distinctly haya. Same thing, not haya, 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 hawa, haya. Anya atha hawa haya anaknawa, right? We keeping it going. Now, why do I have the word y'all twice? Because remember that each one of these is what? Perspectives, right? It's a perspective. It's it's from a certain point of view who's given the information, right? Or who this information is about. Okay. I is what? First person singular. You is second person singular. He is third person singular what? Masculine. She is third person singular what?
Feminine.
Feminine. All right. We is what?
Plural.
That's correct. But give me the perspective. If I is first person.
Second person. We.
There we go, Yanazar. Yanazar got it. It's first person plural. We is the plural equivalent of what? Of I. Right? So now we have y'all or you all, right? So again, each of these has equivalents. I is equivalent to we. You is equivalent to y'all. And then he and she is equivalent to they. So how do we say y'all, but masculine? You said it at the beginning of class.
So lucky, sir.
Please.
A thumb.
A thumb. Okay. How do we say it feminine? Meaning what? If we're only talking about sisters, a group of sisters. We said that at the beginning of class as well.
A thun.
A thun. Exactly, Akash. A thun. How do we say they? In masculine. In masculine, Slakia, it's hum.
Hum. Okay, hum.
And for sisters is what?
Hun.
Correct. And there you have it, folks. Right? A comprehensive list of Hebrew pronouns. And you may be saying to yourself, what the hell am I going to do with this? You understand? What am I do with this? Well, we're going to see some examples of this being used regularly in the scriptures, exactly as we anticipate. No different than when we use them in the prayers. It's Shalom, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua Barak Atha, bless you. Yahweh Shema Alathun Ba'ashim Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? The Most High, watch over you all in the name of Christ. Or Atha, watch over you. Let's see some examples. Play with it, pause. The moment. Let's go to Jeremiah, the 8th chapter and the 8th verse. Jeremiah 8 and 8. Nazar, I'm going to have you read it in the English first.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 8, and verse 8 in English. Also, he sent forth a dove from him. Oh.
Get Blue Letter and get it in the Hebrew. I'll read it in English real quick. Come on. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 8 and verse 8. How do ye say, we are wise, and the law of the Lord is with us? Lo, certainly in vain made he it. The pen of the scribes is in vain. Okay? So we see that part that says, how do ye say we are wise? He's asking the question, how can you even say that? Right? He's questioning their communication, questioning what they would say about themselves. Now, if you could, Yanazar, read it in the Hebrew, and I'm gonna stop you exactly when we don't need no more. Go ahead.
This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 8. Ayaka Ha'amarwa.
Tha'amarwa.
Salaki. Tha'amarwa. Kakamyam. Anaknawa.
End. The word kakum means wise. Kakumyum. Anaknawa. It's plural because it's wisdom of multiple people. Again, no different than English. You got to have what they, not subject verb, but like the plurals, and they got to match. So it's kakumyum, the wisdom. And then it says anaknawa, kakumyum anaknawa. We talked about how you can say it in either direction in Hebrew and it still makes sense. You can say anaknawa kakumyum or kakumyum anaknawa, and it still means what? We anaknawa are anaknawa. Why? Which is kakumyum. 2 words in Hebrew. 2 words. We are wise. Anaknawa kakumyum. Or kakumyum anaknawa. Wise we are. Right. You can read it in direction, but it does read in the scripture as kakumyum anaknawa. Wise we are. Okay? Building blocks. Because now, if I know how to say we are wise, what else can I say? I can say anything concerning us. I can say we are hungry. I can say we are black. I can say we are Israelites. I can say we are ashamed. I can say we are thirsty. I can say we are running. I can do this all day. Let's put it to the test with this particular pronoun. Wait just a second. Give me Genesis 42 and 31 real quick. Can read it in English?
Book of Genesis, chapter 42 and verse 31. And we said unto him, we are true men. We are no spies.
We are true men. That phrase in Hebrew is kanyam anaknawa. This means we are true. It says true men, but it just says, technically this says we are true. Or better yet, true we are. Kanyam anaknawa. Right? And we can do this with all of our pronouns. So where once we know some adjectives, once we know some different words, we can put it all together with what we know and create sentences of our own. Somebody give me a sentence with he.
He is black.
He is black. I like that. How will we say he is black?
We say black he is.
I think it's Shakara. That's exactly correct. Shakara Haya'a. Excuse me, Hawa'a. Black he is. You can say that about Christ. Shakara Hawa'a. Right? Why? Because we know when we go to Song of Solomon 1 and 5, it begins saying, I am black. And how does the sentence go? Shakara Anya. Black I am. And we could switch it all around at any moment.
That's funny, but like we'll say he, most black people say he black.
Mm-hmm.
They'll say he is black.
Right.
Most black people say he black.
He black. He black. We black. You black. We don't say you are black. You black. You retarded. You crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's just how we talk. But that's our language. Let's see. What about this one? Bear with me just a second. Go to Genesis 27 and 19. Go ahead and read it.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 19 in English. And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn.
Okay, that's a simple sentence. I am Esau, meaning what? He's just telling you who he is. Then he's giving more detail to his father. I'm your firstborn. Right? Let's see how he says. Go ahead and read it in Hebrew, Baba Kusha.
The book of Genesis 27 and 19 in Hebrew. Wayamar, Yaquab, Al Abiyawa, Anakia, Aishawa, Ba Koraka, Aishiathia, Ashar, Dabarath, Aliyah, Kwawam, Na'a, Shaba, Wa'akala, Mataza, Yadia.
Right. So you'll notice that it doesn't say Anya. It says Anakia, but I'm going to show you something. Again, always try to investigate. If you go to Blue Letter, right, and you click on that word. So let me just move my laptop around. Anakia. Yep, H, you see? Anakia for I. So we see that it's I. Now on our board, we got I as Anya. Well, how could that be? It's like it. Pardon me. How could that be? When we click on it, on H595 on that number, Page 595. Right, we click on it. Right, and we see Anakia right there. But then we scroll down and we go to a thing that says what? Show Jacinius's Hebrew Chaldee lexicon. See that? Salaki. Show Jacinius's Hebrew Chaldee lexicon. It gives us a breakdown of the word. In pause with the tone change. Personal pronoun first person. Common I. Go ahead.
If they know all of this, why they keep using these fucked up interpretations?
Well, because it's not in this particular case, it's not a mess of interpretation. It's just again, think of our language not in static. What we are learning is the best form of it. But every word is not the original form of it. Just like remember we talked about the different pictographs, and those were not the original form per se of the pictographs, but they were the best. They were the ones that were the most convenient and that we started to use most frequently, and is about to tell us that. It says, right, exactly. You see, it says common IQ, Anya. You see it right there. See that? Anya. It says this is the original and fuller form and is on the whole rather less frequent than the shorter. Though in the Pentateuch, first 5 books, it is more often found, while in some of the later books as Chronicles and Ecclesiastes, it does not occur at all. You understand? So why do we learn Anya? Because we know it's used more frequently than Anakia, and we know that there's parts in the scriptures where Anakia is not even used. So we're just choosing the word that is the most well-rounded. It's most befitting. Instead of confusing and learning Anakia and Anya, they're the same word, and this one is used more. So we rock with this one. And it flows better.
Is it like masculine? Is it masculine?
No, it's not masculine or feminine.
It's not masculine. Okay.
Right, it's first person.
Right.
So it's the person, whoever's speaking is using it. You don't have to distinguish what you are because you are what you are. If I'm talking to you, Yanazar, I don't gotta tell you that I'm the male version of myself. You're talking to a man, you know the vibe, right? But if I'm talking about a third person, then I got to let you know whether or not that third person is a man or a female. You understand what I'm saying? I'm saying, man, it's Tawab, man. It is right on the money. It's right on the money learning this. Okay. So now we know what it says. Now read it again, Yanazar. But when you get to the word Anakia, I want you to say Anya. If you could, Baba Kusha.
Waya Amar. Ya Iquab. Al. Abiyawa. Anya. Aishawa. Bakaraka. Bakaraka Khan. Aishiathia. Ka'ashar. Dabarath. Aliyah, Kwawum, Na'a, Shaba, Wa'akala, Matazayadia, Ba'ai Bawar, Thaba Raknaya, Napashaka, Napashka.
Thy soul. It's your soul. Napash is soul.
Napashak.
Not Pashak. Napashka. Like Shamka.
Okay. Napashamka.
The root word is Napash.
Napashka?
There we go.
Okay. Khan. Napashka.
Napashka, thy soul.
Okay.
So now we see that it said what? He said, Anya Aishawa. What is Anya Aishawa? Translate that for me. Anya Aishawa means what?
It means Esau. My Anya Nakia. Esau's and Nakia Aisha. Thy firstborn. I'm Esau, thy firstborn.
You're adding too much. Anya Aishawa. All I asked was for Anya Aishawa. Anya Aishawa.
I am Esau.
There we go. Simple. So let me ask. So Akash Kar, I'm gonna ask you a question. How would you say I am Akash Kar?
Anya Akashka.
Isn't that like the most basic thing you can damn near say in a language? Isn't that what they teach you in Spanish class? When you first learn the Spanish, they try to teach you how to say, "Oh, my name is so and so," right? Or you learn in French, "Je m'appelle," whatever your name is. This is basic, man. This is simple. Think about how many you can damn near go through a whole day in another language, just knowing the pronoun and a couple of adjectives. I am hungry. I am lost. And that's why a lot of the foreigners, right? Foreigners, they be speaking broken English, trying to piece it all together, right? And they'll say something like I in hotel. I in hotel, or I in something, right? And you be like, damn, like this person can't speak English, but they're just trying to communicate something to you. And you can get it. Right? I thirsty. I water. Right? Because again, they can't speak English, but they're trying to get this point across. So we can do the same in Hebrew. I am Akashkar. I am Tabawan. Anya Tabawan. Anya Yanazar. Anya Akashkar. You can say this with so many different things. What if I say, hold up. Salaki, I don't want to say the wrong word.
Okay.
What if I say Anya Kwatazayan?
Lucky.
Right?
I am a captain. Officer, Salaki.
Right. Anya Kwatazayan. I am an officer. Anya Sarun. I am a captain. Anya Alawap.
I am a general.
I am a general. Damn right, Akash.
God.
So we need some adjectives. We need some different things. Now we know. That's what we can put that formula, man. We can write that, because this is nothing but what? This is nothing but a pronoun. Plus a noun. Or a proper noun. And it makes sense. We see it throughout the scriptures. Right? So, what else could we say? What about we throw some, who knows what an adjective is? What's the adjective?
Lucky, sir. A word naming an attribute of a noun.
Exactly. Yep. Naming an attribute of a noun, right? Or it could be what? A pronoun.
A pronoun.
Because a pronoun takes the place of a noun. It's a word naming an attribute. Wait a minute. I think I might have just figured something out, Aki. Hold up. So with that being said, if I can take a pronoun and a noun together, right, to make a sentence, and I know I can also take a pronoun and an adjective, right, then maybe I can also take a noun and an adjective, right? We know that. It makes sense. If I can say Anya Aishawa, that's a pronoun and a noun. If I was to say Anya Shakara or Shakara Anya, that means what? I am black. That is a pronoun and an adjective. The black there is describing the person, right? Describing myself. Well, I wonder if I can make a sentence with two nouns. Let's see. Let's see if I'm being too far-fetched. Maybe I'm going too crazy at Koshko. Maybe I'm doing too much. Let's find out. If I'm doing too much. Not quite, but check this out. Let's go to Genesis 36:8. Read that in the English, Giannis Al Show.
The book of Genesis, chapter 36, and verse 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom.
Esau is Edom. But how is that worded? Check it out. Read it in Hebrew.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 36, and verse 8. Wayashab, Aishawa, Bahar, Sha'ayah, Aishawa, Hawa'a, Adawam.
Y'all notice what happened there? Y'all peep it? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's like saying Esau, he is Edom. But in Hebrew, it's just three nouns. Aishawa is a proper noun. Hawa'a is a pronoun. Adawam is a proper noun. Esau, he is Edom. Or, if you're being more colloquial, Esau, he Edom. That's why that he is there. You understand? And we can use it in that way in so many different ways. But still, you see, you can almost combine nouns with each other, pronouns with nouns, pronouns with adjectives, nouns with adjectives, pronouns with verbs. You can combine them in a lot of different ways to formulate a complete thought. And why am I saying all of this? Why is Officer Tabawan going through all of this? Why is he just rambling about all this grammar stuff? You don't care about that. No, the reason why I'm doing it is because you can then what? You can say things. This is all it's about. That's what we're not wasting our time. We're just trying to what? Communicate with each other. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to speak to each other. If I gotta call Yanazar and tell him I'm gonna be late for class, I'm just trying to communicate to him that I'm gonna be late for class. understand? If someone wants to know, well, you saying that black people are not Americans and you saying we're not African. Well, I want somebody to tell me who we are. Somebody tell me who we are in Hebrew. Hebrew sentence that tells me who we are.
Anaknawa Yasharala.
Give him a hand. We are Israel. We can also say Anaknawa Yasha Aliyah. We are Israelites. Right? Let's get some examples. We've got a little bit of time left. We already did we are thy servants. Give me Genesis 20:5 real quick.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 20 and verse 5 in English. Said he not unto me, she is my sister. And she, even she herself said, he is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands have I done this.
When it says he is my brother, how do you say it in Hebrew? Before we read it, how do we think you would say he is my brother in Hebrew? Give me 2 ways you can say it. He is my brother. Hawa Akia. What else?
Akia Hawa.
Akia Hawa. Now read it in Hebrew, Yanazar, and let's see if what we, before we even read it, came up with, if it's in there. Go ahead.
Hala'a, Hawa'a, Amar Laya, Akathia, Hawa'a, Wahaya'a, Gum, Hawa'a, Amara, Akia, Hawa'a.
Y'all catch it?
Oh.
What did it say?
Akia Hawa'a.
Akia Hawa'a, my brother he is. Okay. So let's start to look for adjectives to add to those things. Let's start to speak this. And say little things, right? He is my brother. You know what I mean? He is my friend. And you know what I'm saying? She is my rib. How would I say she is my wife? Y'all should know this one. Oh, Giannis, did you read something before you said that? You didn't read nothing, you sure? To say she is my wife is Haya'a Asha. See if we can find it. We just read Genesis what? 20 and what? Let's read 20 and 2 real quick. I'll read the English. And Abraham said of his wife Sarah, she is my sister. Right? So it says she is my sister. Now, when we read it in Hebrew, it says Akathya, that's the my sister, it's coming from Akwath, right? Or Akwathya, Hawa'a, my sister, she is. That's 20 and 2. Right? In Genesis 26 and 7, he says, she is my wife. Right? But how he says it is this. He says, it's a little different. It comes from the word ashah, but it says ashathya. But that's Genesis 26 and 7. Right. Here it doesn't have the she. It doesn't have the pronoun. It says ashathya. Right. To say, la amar ashathya. To say my wife. I didn't want to say my wife. Right. In that particular sentence, the pronoun is not there. In that part, at least. Right. But that's not a problem. Because we understand the formula and we understand how we can use it. And that's kind of all that matters in this particular sense. All right. Let's get one more. We got time for one more. 1 and 2 more, actually. What about them plural ones? Here we go. Let's go to Psalms 82 and 6.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 82 and verse 6. In English, I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are the children of the Most High.
Blackity blacks love this scripture. The black man, yeah, every black man is God. If he's on the unemployment line, if he's addicted to crack, he's God. He's a drug dealer, he's God. If he's a drug user, he's God. If he's on death row, he's God. Yeah. It don't mean that, okay? But no sweat. It says, I have said, which is Anya, Amarthaya, right? There's that Anya, that you are gods, and all of you, all of you are children of the Most High. Who can see the word you here? Which word is used?
Thumb.
The exact word that we just talked about here. Meaning what? It's plural.
It means y'all.
Right. Y'all are children. And in the sentence, it's what? A thumb wa bunya al one. Y'all are children of the Most High. If you break it down, again, those connectors aren't there. There's no of in this sentence. Literally, it says, y'all children Most High. But it means y'all are the children. Because remember, the R is in here. It's implied already. A thumb is y'all are, if it needs to be. Or it could just be y'all. But either it's there. You don't have to add it. It's there. Y'all are children of the Most High. Right? Bear with me. I mean, Exodus 5 and 17. Read the English first, Jonathan.
The book of Exodus, chapter 5 and verse 17 in English. But he said, ye are idle. Ye are idle. Therefore ye say, let us go and do sacrifice to the Lord.
What's that talking about? Who's saying this? Pharaoh saying, y'all, man, yeah, y'all lazy as hell, man. Gonna ask me for some time off to go worship some damn Most High, man. What the hell? Y'all ain't got. That's the problem is y'all ain't got enough work. I'm gonna put some more work on you because you've been asking me this means y'all are idle, man. So this is Pharaoh talking. He said, "Ye are idle." In the Hebrew.
Yeah. You said 5 and what was it again?
17.
Come on, sir. I got it. Okay. Waya Amar, Narapium, Athum, Narapium, Al, Khan, Athum, Amarium, Nalaka, Nazabaka, La Yahweh.
This is a funny one. You know why? Because remember we said you can say it in both directions. You can say, if I want to say, I am your brother, I can say what? I would say Anya Akyaka, your brother. Anya Akyaka, I'm your brother. I could also say Akyaka, Anya, your brother I am. In this sentence, it's on both sides. You peep that? Narapium, a thumb, Narapium. Think of it like this. He's saying, you're idle. He's repeating himself. Idle. He's saying it twice. If I say, man, yo, man, you lazy, man. Lazy. Follow me? He's just repeating the word again. Man, you lazy. You lazy. Lazy. He's just, yeah, he's like exclamation point on it. And you are idle. Idle. That's why it's on both sides. But you can say that sentence either way. You can say Narapium a thumb or a thumb Narapium. And it still means you are idle. Y'all are idle. Ye are idle. So idle is an adjective. It's a condition. So all we need is to learn more adjectives, and we can just jam them up with a bunch of pronouns, and we got our basic sentences right there. If I want to say ye are idle, I would say what? If I say y'all are idle, it's in the scripture. I say what? A thumb. Narapium. What if I want to say I am idle? Anya Narapium. What if I want to say you are idle, singular? Right. If I want to say he is idle, hawa'a Narapium. She, haya'a Narapium. We are idle, anak nawa Narapium. They are idle. Narapium. Right. Last one. Give me Genesis 48 and 9 in the English, Baba Shah. That's the last one. Yeah.
The book of Genesis, chapter 48, verse 9. And Joseph said unto his father, they are my sons, whom God hath given me in this place. And he said, bring them, I pray thee, unto me, and I will bless them.
They are my sons. They are my sons. Who can tell me, before you read it, how would a person say they are my sons in Hebrew? You should know because we did it last week. It was actually on the board at the beginning of this class. Bunyahum? Which we mean what? Bunyahum. My sons, they are. Let's read it. Maybe you're right. It said Bunyahum. Let's see. Maybe that sounds like it could be something. Let's see if Yanazar is a Hebrew scholar that I know he is. Bunyahum. Go ahead and read it out loud, brother. Shut. Make sure you use the mic.
Wayamar, Yawasap al Abiyawa, Bunyahum. Ashar, Nathan, Laya, Alahayim, Baza, Waya Amar, Kwakam, Na'a Aliyah, Wa Abra Rakam.
So did you hear it?
God.
Bunyahum. They are my sons, or my sons they are. Okay. Building blocks. Building blocks we're going to keep using and building off of consistently. Now, that's no sweat, man. We got to learn some more words. But are there any questions in the room? Akash, you got any questions? You good?
Nah, sir. I'm good. I'm the walk.
That's all. You good? Most High in Christ. Next week, new words, and then we're going to go back to what we were talking about last week. We kind of touched on it, which is the usage of the possessives as pronominals in conjunction with the pronouns to make fuller sentences, and we'll also understand this difference between formal and informal. All right. So if nothing else, we're going to clip it right there. Like I said, next week we'll be right back, same place, same time. And with that, I'm going to pass the class over to priest and officer of 500.
Hey, shalom. Yahweh Shem Hawashai Barakatah to Akash Kar, brother.
Yahweh Shem Hawashai Barakatah.
Security announcements. We are the ISUPK. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. That means your camp leader. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 in Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means 10th in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation would be what is it, December 7th? Is our Hanukkah, I think it's December 7th. Okay. And remind Akim to check on social media such as isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. And right now we're in the throes of the Cali cookout, the California cookout. I think the cookout is Sunday and camp is tomorrow. Is that right? Because I think they're doing they had camp today. Okay, they're in the midst of the Cali cookout. And the next cookout is in Houston, right? And what's that, November 18th, is it? In Florida is in December. Okay, so we'll keep you posted as to the correct dates and time. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, men of Israel, I imagine